let's jump right into first. Let's talk about some of the Spain national team stuff because I think
Yeah.
that came across Twitter and every Hawkeye fan maybe had the same reaction of Googling is Megan Gustafson Spanish? So how did this come about? How did you even have the inclination to join the Spanish national team?
Yeah, I've actually had like a lot of questions from people ever since I got my passport, asking if I'm Spanish. I am not. But there is a rule for those teams that they can have one naturalized player, and they reached out to me. I believe it was probably around this time last year, so around February or March, they reached out to my agent, seeing if I was interested. They showed quite a bit of interest, and my agent was pretty excited about it because, she knows, and now I know that this is a very good team. They're in the Olympics all the time, year over year. So I was really excited about that opportunity. And for the past few years, I've really thought about getting a passport because not only is it great to obviously go into the Olympics and have that opportunity, but it also helps my career professionally overseas because I don't count as an American anymore. And there are limitations on however many Americans you have per team. So it's definitely a boost in my own career. Um, but I just love the team. I'm thankful that I am in this position to even think about going to the Olympics. It's been quite the ride, to be honest.
Okay, I did not think about that or realize that like you don't count as an American. I mean, I assume you still have your American passport, but
Correct.
uh,
Yes.
so for any American player, if they just get a second passport, do they not count as an American citizen anymore as far as those rosters go?
Correct. They can just use the other passport, which is really great. There are a lot of other WNBA players that do the same thing. It kind of just skirts around the rules, I guess, if you can call it that. But I mean, it's great for overseas for sure.
Yeah. So is this something that like okay, so on the Spanish national team, are you the only like American or are there other people from other countries that they've kind of recruited in the same type of process?
Yeah, right now I'm the only American that's been naturalized. There is one other player who got her passport mm, back in maybe 2010 or 11. But right now she's kind of out and kind of coming back into things. We'll see. I mean, it all just depends on what happens. But yeah, right now it's like one naturalized player per team.
Oh, okay. So is that a rule that all these other like foreign teams can only have one like naturalized player on the roster?
For all the national teams, yes, it's
Okay.
only one.
So were you
Mhm.
being like recruited by other teams? I mean, was Slovakia and Italy and England and Sweden coming after you too?
There were a few. Yeah, there were a few. I mean, not like a ton, but there were a couple that reached out to my agent and she thought, you know what, Spain has a really, really good team. They have the most stature in terms of, again, performing really well in Eurobasket, World Cup, Olympics, and just being able to have a chance to have a long-term relationship with the team is really important to me as well.
Uh-huh. What is your like natural heritage? Like if you go back to your ancestors, do you know where the Gustafson family comes from?
Yeah, it's definitely Swedish and Polish. Those are the two, which is kind of funny to think about that I have a Spanish passport, but yeah, those are the two main ones.
Did you think about joining those national teams, or I don't know if they even have competitive like national teams in Denmark or Poland?
Yeah, they do, but they did not reach out, so that really wasn't on the table actually.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so what how much time had you spent in Spain before this? I mean, what was it all just kind of basketball related, or had you spent any time there either traveling or in your career European career, had you spent some time there just traveling the country at all?
Yeah, before the passport, I've only been a couple of times playing in EuroLeague. I've been to Girona and Valencia. I think those are the main two places that I've been. Those are great EuroLeague teams. So I'm excited, obviously, to have this. The passport's good for 8 years, and hopefully with a chance to renew it after that. So I'm really excited to explore. Obviously, I'll be playing a lot of basketball, but in between there, I'll try to figure out some time to definitely get to know the country.
What if you could say one like if you there was one primary reason why you did this, is it mainly basketball related in terms of like improving your own skills? Is that like the largest reason why just kind of almost like signing a contract with whoever London or the Greek team you were playing on last year? Like this is
Mhm.
purely kind of a competitive thing.
Yeah, it definitely is the main one for
Mhm.
sure. I didn't know a whole lot about it to be honest until my agent kind of told me a lot of players are trying to get passports to just give themselves a better chance career wise, how that looks with other overseas teams. But also I really, really want a chance to be a part of something bigger than myself. I want to be in the Olympics. I want to be able to be a part of a family, a team, and they've been so, so welcoming to me. I'm actually going to be taking Spanish lessons. They're hiring a Spanish teacher to help me out. So that's been really fun to start that process. So I'm just really happy to be part of a family, part of a group that I'm really excited to fight for.
Habla español.
Un poco, un poco.
Uh, ¿Cómo se dice pancake?
Oh boy, tortita.
Does you don't call him a different name over there, right? He's still just pancake to the teammates.
Yep, just Pancake.
Okay.
She's the cutest.
Oh, that's funny. Sorry, pancake is a boy, right?
Girl.
Girl.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to
It's okay.
misgender
Don't worry.
pancake. Does she get to go on all your travels with you? I mean, is she over there? Is she going to London and Spain and Greece and everywhere with you?
Well, actually, fun fact, Pancake has a Polish passport. I originally got her in Poland when I was playing in Hungary,
Oh,
about 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Well, yeah, it's been 4 years. And so that was definitely a process. But so she has a passport, I have passports. She's always in my contracts for overseas teams. So, for example, like London or Greece, wherever I was, I always make sure she's written in my contract so she can stay with me. Usually, if I'm on away games, I'll find a sitter nearby, so she can, for example, stay in London or whatever. But I'd love to bring her to Spain sometime. We'll see. I'm trying to work out details to bring her to Paris, but she might have to stay in Vegas for that one.
I don't know. Is that a common thing that you have to have your pet written into your contract? Does that happen in America too?
I mean, you don't have to. It kind of just depends contract by contract and team, but I always have to make sure how is the housing look and like I will not go to a team if I can't bring my dog. Like that's just a big no-no for me.
Wow. I don't know because I've only worked in Cedar Rapids for the last couple of years. I kind of would have covered you when I was in Sioux City, like we,
Mhm.
show highlights of Iowa games, but wouldn't have ever like interacted with you. But so I don't know if I knew that Pancake was just a professional edition that she wasn't around when you were in college.
Yeah, she wasn't. I got her my first year playing overseas. So unfortunately, the Hawk fans haven't had too many interactions. She's been back to Iowa a couple times, but I'm definitely gonna have to bring her around more often.
Uh-huh. Where did the name come from?
Well, pancakes are my favorite food. And corgis also have the coloring of pancakes. She has like this little white spot on her back that looks like butter or whipped cream.
Mhm.
And she's short, so short stack. Lots of reasons.
Short stack. That's a great nickname. So, what is this like for you now? Because I mean, you already went through the qualifying, and you guys are into the Olympics.
Yeah.
What's that mean to you? Just to know that you're going to get a chance to walk in the ceremony and be out there with the march and stuff. Well, first off, remind me where is it? Where are this summer's Olympics? I've already
It's
forgotten.
in Paris.
It's in Paris. Okay.
Paris.
So yeah, just being able to march and be a part of the pageantry of everything, the Olympic Village and all that. What's that mean to you?
Oh, I'm just so excited. Really that couple week like stretch leading up to it was a little bit stressful, and then actually being there for that tournament. Honestly, it's one of the most stressful times of my life. Because we lost that first game and then we beat Canada and then Japan beat Canada and we were all in the locker room just huddled around our screens because if Canada would have beaten Japan, we would have had to have beat Hungary in order to be in. But Japan beat Canada, so we didn't need to. We still won, but we didn't need to.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of stress leading up to that. Lot of excitement. I was so exhausted after. I had to take a couple of days off here in London, just to like recoup, recover. Obviously now I'm back with London, getting ready for Euro Cup semifinals. But right now it's a bit of a quiet period, just because things are very new, and I'm sure the Spanish Federation, is trying to figure out everything. But yeah, I'm sure I'll get some more information soon on like what I'm supposed to report, when I'm, all that stuff. Obviously, being with Vegas, it's going to be a little bit different for me, versus the rest of my Spanish teammates. They're already going to be there a little bit more before I am. So, yeah, you know just as much as I do, to be honest, right now.
Does That's not a good thing, boy, because I know very little. Does I imagine for every little girl growing up and playing basketball that college is a dream, WNBA is a dream, and the Olympics are a dream. Is this I don't know. I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way, but is it a little bit of a maybe consolation prize or something that it's not with Team USA, that it's with another country? Or are you just as happy playing for Spain as you would be if you were suiting up for the red, white, and blue?
Yeah, I think playing for Team USA, that would have been really cool. Obviously being from America, but honestly being in the Olympics, regardless of who I'm playing for, it really doesn't matter to me. I'm just super excited and really getting to know the Spanish um teammates, my Spanish coaches, like everything about them has been really awesome. And it makes me more excited and motivated to play really hard for them and to make it more about, what's on the front of my jersey, not on the back.
Mm.
I'm really excited for that. And yeah, I mean, Team USA, they never reached out. I've never played for them, but I mean, I'm just gonna go somewhere else and play for them. So I'm really excited.
I dig it. Hey, I have no objection to it at all. I'm like, if I had some like obscure heritage that I could play in the Olympics for somebody, I'd do it. Absolutely. Heck with
Yeah.
America. I'll do it.
Love
Um,
them, but you know what? It's okay.
yeah, still playing on that stage is going to be incredible. Yeah. So, how much of your year right now is occupied with playing basketball at some point? Because I mean, again, you're going from the Olympics to the WNBA to London. I mean, how many months do you have that aren't practicing or playing games of basketball?
I mean, I would say in total, if we're adding up, usually it's after the overseas season, I'll have maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if that, before W starts. And then after W, I maybe get 2 weeks. So I would say a month max, if that. Because like sometimes when I was playing for Dallas, there was a couple times where I would have to report almost immediately, like only a day or two after landing from my overseas season. So those were even less those years, my early years. But now that I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit more established. I can kind of get more breaks for myself and advocate a little bit better. So it's still a work in progress, but I'm learning how to navigate the pro world.
Yeah, yeah. So what your team in London that you're with right now, when does their like season run to or start and
Yeah.
finish date for them?
Wow, it's pretty interesting. So we're in two different leagues. We're in the British League and we're in the Euro Cup. Right now, Euro Cup playoffs are happening. We just won our game the other day to move on to semifinals, which is going to be March 6th and March 12th against a team in Venice. So it's kind of the point differential. It'll be one away game, one home game, and whoever gets the point differential will move on to the finals, which is I think it's April 2nd and April 10th. But I'm done after Euro Cup season. So April 10th, I'll be done. They are going to continue the British League probably into May. But in my contract, I'll be done.
Hmm.
British League is not as competitive. So they don't really need me to win. But it's been a good experience with the British League as well.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's probably why it's maybe hard for me and a lot of American fans to follow is because this sounds a lot like soccer leagues, right? You know, where you have like your regular leagues in England and then they play in the Euro Cup and stuff like that.
Exactly. It's the same type of setup. Yep.
Yeah. And so that's why it's kind of hard for me to follow. I'm like, how are you in two different leagues? This doesn't make any sense. So
It's very confusing. Even my family is confused. So don't feel bad.
so how do people follow you? I mean, do people like your family, your close friends, are they able to watch your games online or how do they even kind of keep up with what you've got going on?
Yeah, usually it's a bit of a calling tree, honestly, if you can call it that. I'm talking to my immediate family members, my really close friends, sending out game links, and then they send it and it branches out from there. Sometimes I post on my social media, my stories about different games, or I'll tweet, especially coming up here with these Euro Cup games. We're really excited. We're the first British basketball team in history to ever make a semifinal
Hmm.
in Euro Cup history. So we're really, really excited about that. But I'll definitely be posting more about those and hopefully we'll have more people watching.
What, okay, so what are the nationalities of people on your British team? Are they British, American? What are they?
Yeah, so there are British players. We also have a couple people that are similar to me. So Carly Samuelson, for example, she's a little bit more actually British. Her mom is from England, so she has a little bit more, I guess, roots here. But she also has a passport. She's not considered American. We have Shea Petty, she's our American. Abby Myers, she's our American. We've got Temi Fangbale, she's British. So we have quite a few British. couple Americans, and then Carly, and then me as the passport people, I like to
Hmm.
call us.
Okay. Yeah. So is there much of a tradition of women's basketball in Britain? I mean, I don't even hear about British basketball players
Yeah.
even.
So that's been interesting to learn about. I didn't really know anything about British basketball. I would say the London Lions are very up and coming, especially with the men as well. They're doing pretty well in Euro Cup. But honestly, it's not been there. This is again the first time that a British team has ever advanced at all in playoffs of Euro Cup. And we had a chance earlier, in the season to be in EuroLeague. Unfortunately, we lost that qualification. It was our first game as a team, and it's tough. But no team has ever even been in Euro Cup or EuroLeague competition. So we're rewriting the history books right now, and I hope that for British basketball's sake, that London can keep setting that standard and really bringing along people, because I think it definitely needs it.
What's the, I mean, because you've lived in London now for what, 6 months or so, something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's the women's sport there? I mean, what is the th like, are female athletes just doing soccer or tennis, or what are they doing?
Yeah, soccer I think is definitely huge here. I think it's like the best in the world, at least for the men's side, the
Hmm.
Premier League. So, um, I honestly don't know. I know they have a lot of different sports. I know they have tennis, as you mentioned, handball. They have some swimming. I know that's pretty big. So,
Hmm.
a little bit of everything,
Yeah.
but yeah, basketball is not super prioritized, and it's starting to, which is great. And I'm thankful I'm a part of that process.
Yeah. Yeah. As you were talking about it, it kind of reminds me of some of the conversations we have about Caitlin Clark, and the Hawkeyes right now in terms of the exposure they're giving to the game in the United States to people that haven't really followed the game before. They're tuning in to watch
Yeah.
Caitlin and watch the Hawkeyes. Do you feel a little bit of that same thing either in England or Greece or Spain or other places that you're almost doing that same thing?
Absolutely. In the beginning of the season when I was here, we hardly had any fans, but now we're getting 1,500 and 2,000 plus, which has been really exciting. We won the British Trophy final, and there was probably 9,000 people there. So they're really excited about our team. We bring a lot of excitement. We're a joy. We haven't lost a game, so that's been fun. Ever since the EuroLeague qualifiers, we have not lost a game. So it's like when we keep winning, we keep bringing people in and drawing them in. They're obviously excited to see WNBA players, because not many hardly any WNBA players ever play in the British League at all. So that brings a lot of fans to the away games as well as the home games.
Yeah. When is your semifinal game?
March 6th and March 12th. It's like a home, it's like we'll go to Venice, and then Venice will come to us, and it's the point differential. So for example, if we're up 5 or 6, we can't lose by more than 5 or 6. So it's like you have to be aware. It's almost like I know it's really wild. Overseas is fine. It's very intense, honestly.
Boy, so you can't even, like, it's like a Big Ten game, like when I was up on Minnesota by 40 or whatever the other night. Like,
Yeah,
you still don't want to take Caitlin Clark out of the game. Like, you want to pile on
correct.
as many points as you possibly can.
Oh, people are playing till the last second here. Like it doesn't matter how much you're up or down. Like you were trying to chase, and you're trying to kind of bring that point differential down, so then you can have a chance. Let's say if you're down the first time for the second game. So
Yeah.
makes it really interesting for the fans, I think.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
Stressful,
Honestly,
stressful
yeah.
for
So
us.
the last 5 minutes of a game take on a whole new dynamic. Yeah, that's
It's
really fascinating.
it is. It's been
Um,
fun.
so who do you have in the semis?
So we have a team from Venice, Italy.
Okay. And
Yep.
who's on the other? When would the championship game be? Games or
Um,
whatever you do.
that'll be April 2nd and April 10th.
Hmm.
So there are a couple WNBA players actually on the Venice team, Jessica Shepard, and Awak Kuier. Those are the two that come to mind. So that'll be a fun battle, especially in the post. We're really excited about that. But April 2nd, April 10th, we're actually the second, well, now the first highest seeding team. They were knocked out earlier in rounds, but we're the highest seeded. So no matter what, we're going to have a home game on the 10th, which is great, because I would love to win a Euro Cup championship here in London. That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, cool. Huh. Well, even stateside though, I mean, speaking of championships, you got signed to Las Vegas. You're going to
Yeah.
the two-time defending champs. I mean, good grief. Like, how special was that to be able to be courted by them and now going to such an established
Yeah.
franchise?
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible. I loved my conversations with Becky Hammond. She's kind of the one that really turned my mind to what Vegas is all about, and I'm really excited to play for her. Obviously, play for the players that they have. I won a championship. I won a WNBA championship, and I think that was the best draw. Comparing to the other teams that were after me in free agency.
Mhm. What else maybe drew you to them other than their success? Because with your career so far, it seems like, I mean, you've done well when, again, like with Phoenix, when Brittney Griner was out, you came in and really did great, but you've kind of had to be in that role where you come in and support
Yeah.
somebody else that goes out. And so obviously Vegas has a ton of great players. So what drew you to them? I mean, knowing, I don't know if you thought that you'd maybe have a more established role on that team, or if you're going to be kind of coming off the bench again.
Yeah, I'm always kind of established that I'm a bench player right now, but I've embraced it. Obviously, I'd love to work up to that point of starting. I've started a couple of the games with Phoenix and having that experience. But I really love bringing an energy and a spark off the bench to help, because I know obviously the starters and the superstars of the league, they need rest in order to do well, and you can't let down. So like that role player is so important, and I take that job very seriously. Especially with the team with the aces, they're going to need people to come in and to shine as well. So I'm super excited. I think with my ability to stretch the floor now, is going to really help them out. That's been kind of the most exciting part of my game. Looking back from college, from Iowa, I mean, I shot, I think, 2 total threes my entire career. To now, I mean, I shot 8 threes the other game. Like, I'm shooting so much and I love it. I have a face-up game now. I don't really consider myself a back to the basket post player anymore, which is so crazy to think about. But it's been a really fun way to develop, and I want to develop and I want to get better. And I know Vegas is a great place to do that. They also
Are
have
the
great facilities. So
are the 3-pointers going in? You're not just shooting them,
they
right?
are. They're
Okay.
going in. They
Good.
are going in. So we're very happy with that.
Did you shoot threes in high school?
No, no.
All right.
Maybe every once in a great while,
Yeah.
but
Was
yeah.
that hard for you to adjust to that being a bench player after I assume your entire life through high school and college you'd been if not a star, you'd been a starter. And so was that hard to adjust to that knowing that like I'm not the star anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a little weird, to be honest.
Mhm.
Obviously getting cut right away after
Mhm.
being drafted from Iowa, and going into Dallas, and figuring out, okay, what can I work on to get better? I think that's what I turned it into, is more of like an internal evaluation. I knew I had potential to have an outside game. I knew it, and I worked on it a little bit at Iowa, but that was more mid post. And I loved that area, and I loved operating out of the high post. That's one of my favorite parts of my game thus far. But it really just was a wake up call to figure out, okay, yes, you've established yourself as a post player very well. What else can I do? And I think that's been fun. And for me personally, embracing the grind every day, like, I get just as excited about a really good workout than I do winning like a championship game. Like, every day I love being able to just put the work in and seeing little improvements just as much as I see bigger improvements over time.
And is the international game similar enough to the WNBA right now where your talents and your skills that you're working on carry over perfectly? Or like, I don't know if like over in England or in Greece or anything, if they
Mhm.
want kind of who you used to be, if they want a back to the
Yeah.
basket type of player.
Yeah, definitely earlier on in my career, I was able to kind of fall on that cushion of, all right, they want me to be a five, they want me to be a post player. I am still that. I'm never going to go away from that for sure. But definitely as I've gotten older, I've gotten more known for, okay, she's a shooter now. She's a face-up player. She can obviously dominate in the post. She has good finish. And so just having that foundation is what teams want over here. They love post players overseas. I think that's been a different way to look at it. Whereas WNBA, they're like, no, you need to shoot, you need to pop, you need to pop, you need to pop. And I'm like, okay, fine, I will. But overseas, let me go back and build my confidence and then improve from there.
Yeah. And I mean, it seems like that's exactly the same thing with the men's game. That,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, Luka Garza obviously is a perfect example that it's like 30 years ago, he would have dominated the NBA, and now it's like he has a hard time even seeing the floor. Do
Yeah.
you think that will change again in some way? I mean, will the game evolve where a post player like you or like Luka is more valued again, or is it going to shift in a different direction? I don't know. That's all kind of theoretical right now, but what do you think?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think so. I
Hmm.
think the game is really evolving around positionless basketball and being able to be versatile. They've always emphasized that since day one for me being a pro. I remember like when I was drafted, the coach called me, he's like, "You're gonna be a pick and pop 3-point shooter." And I was like, "Have you seen me play?" So I'm very thankful for that moment because it kept me in the league because I focused and I worked hard and I've completely changed my game. Um, but yeah, I mean, I personally I love being a post player. Like I love bringing the back to basket moves in. So I'd love to see it, but do I think that's actually going to happen? Probably not.
Yeah. How many countries now have you played a professional basketball game in?
Oh goodness. Oh boy. Well, let's see. We've got Hungary, Poland, Spain, Italy, Russia. Um, I know there's definitely a lot more. I'm kind of blanking right now. Those are some of the main ones for sure.
America.
America, yep.
I
South America, um,
where in South America?
Brazil.
Okay.
Yeah, that was actually when I was in Iowa still. I did like a tournament with Hannah Stewart. It
Oh.
wasn't really like, yeah, it was with Athletes in Action. Yeah, it was a few
Hmm.
years ago.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
That
Do you
was
work
super
with
fun.
athletes in action?
I do. Yep. Yep. Especially when I
Okay.
was at Iowa, I was very well connected with them. And I've stayed a little bit connected, ever since Iowa too. So
So you
um
would I be right to assume you're pals with Jim Goodrich?
yes, Jim. Great guy.
Yeah. Okay. So that's so funny. I didn't know that you were connected with him because so
Yeah.
Jim's son is married to my sister.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so I've gotten to know the Goodriches super well over the years. And so
That's
anyway, so
awesome.
Jim and Laura, I know
Tell him I
really
say hi.
I will. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know you were connected with him. That's great. So am I right to say that you played in on a Greek team last year? I thought that at least you were in Greece when I talked to you during the Final Four. So is Greece one of those
Correct.
countries? I couldn't remember if you named them as
Yes,
well.
Greece is definitely one of them.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I would say most of the countries, because like obviously with EuroLeague and Euro Cup, we're always playing different teams in different countries several
Hmm.
times in different areas. Turkey is another one for
Yeah.
sure. I've gone to Turkey so many times I can't even count. Um, they're a great league. Turkey is definitely one of the more top ones. Was obviously now it's a little bit different. Um, gosh, let's see, Poland, Latvia, I think was one of them.
Hmm.
Czech, Czech was one. Yeah, there's just
Yeah.
I can't even remember. I literally can't keep track. It's really
You
wild.
haven't gone to the Far East. You never been to like China, Japan and played over there or anything?
No, no, no,
Okay.
no. Just like in Turkey, obviously on the Asia side, I've gone
Mhm.
there a little bit. We were actually just there a couple weeks ago playing against the in the quarterfinals
So
against the Turkey team.
when did you play for a team in Russia or when would you have gone to, was that before like the war and before the Brittney
That
Griner stuff?
was Yeah, that was only a couple months before.
Wow.
We played in Kursk. That was against Enrique Agumbwale's team and Natasha Howard's team.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was in, I believe, November of right before that happened. So yeah, that was pretty wild. That was very difficult trying to cross the borders for sure. We
Really?
had to walk like 2 miles in the dark at 2 in the morning to get from the station to the other station, the actual border we had to walk across and then get on a bus. I'll never forget that.
Was there any illicit substances in your suitcase? Nothing.
There was no, 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 no.
Okay, just want to make sure that you're because
Yeah.
we found that can be a trouble for American basketball players.
Yes, yes, for sure.
What's
So
your, I
tough.
guess I didn't even think about that connection until this second about you and Brittany. I mean, what's your relationship like with her? What was that like to be a part of everything over the last year where she
Yeah,
got back and I mean, it was just such a circus around her and the team that like, and you kind of had a front row
yeah.
seat to all that.
Absolutely. I definitely had a front row seat. They obviously brought me in when she was out and they were like, we need a post player to replace Brittany until she's back. And I was like, all right, let's do this. So that was obviously one of the hardest summers I've experienced. Just having like that heavy burden that's with your team every single day, knowing that there's somebody that's not there. Now, obviously, I didn't know her prior to that. So my teammates were really a lot more affected than I was, and just seeing them so sad about all that was really, really hard. But getting to know Brittney, she's honestly like one of the brightest lights you will ever meet. She's just the most welcoming, joking person ever. Very sweet, very kind person. And I would take a bullet for her on a heartbeat. Like I love her to death. And what she went through, it's something that she definitely didn't deserve at all. It was super fun just getting to know her, and we bonded a lot over our love for dogs. She loves Pancake, so that was really special. And for her to just give me pointers is a dream come true. You know, I have a post player Mount Rushmore, and she's on that. So to be able to have a dream come true to play with somebody like that is has been really, really awesome.
Who else is on the Mount Rushmore?
All right, so we got Brittney Griner, Elena Delle Donne, Tina Charles, and Sylvia Fowles.
Solid lineup. No Megan Gustafson on there. All right. Humbly leaving yourself
Someday.
off.
We'll see. I've actually played with Elena and Tina, so only one that I
Oh,
didn't get to play with. So it's really cool that
sure.
those dreams are coming true.
Yeah, I was gonna say with the Mystics, right? That's when you would play with Elena.
Yep, correct.
Oh man, that's cool. Let me think. I had a few more things I know I wanted to touch on before we wrap up. What? Oh, you'd be a great person to get a gauge on this. People have discussed what it's going to be like for Caitlyn to adjust to the WNBA. Is she going to
Yeah.
succeed? Is she going to struggle for a while? I mean, you've
Yeah.
you've had a chance to see that personally, like being able to succeed at Iowa and then try to make it at the WNBA level. What do you think she's going to do at that level? Is she going to succeed right away, be great, or is it going to take some time for her to warm up to the league?
I think she's gonna do great, honestly, off the bat. Just like watching how she's played, even being closely guarded. Obviously, she's gonna be going against bigger, faster, stronger people. She's gonna have a huge target on her back. People are gonna be excited that she's in the league, but they're gonna want to show what they can do against her. So definitely there's gonna be an adjustment. I think the physicality is gonna be her biggest hurdle for sure. It's a war. It is a absolute war. Every single day. It is not easy. So, and that's from a post player's perspective, who loves physicality, who's saying that. So, definitely going to be a challenge for her, but I'm excited. I think she's going to embrace that. I think she's going to be probably excited to be a rookie again and to learn and to, obviously Indiana has the first pick. I'm assuming they're going to take her and, kind of be a part of that franchise and kind of go from there. They have some great guards as well that she can learn from. So I'm really, really excited for her.
Is that the biggest thing? Like, I mean, in terms of what, like, do you think she's going to have to change any aspect of her game? I mean, she loves driving the lane and she goes down in there
Yeah.
and post. Is
Yeah.
is that going to change or anything else that's going to have to be different about what she does?
I think she's just going to have to adjust really quickly. They do have a lot of guards, and I think being able to play at any moment's notice, all right, I'm going to switch to two. All right, now I'm going to be point guard, bringing the ball up possession by possession. Like, I don't think it's even going to be game by game. It's going to be within the game. So making in-game quick adjustments is going to be super important. And obviously defensively is going to be another one of those challenges that she's going to have to face. WNBA emphasizes defense. And that's a really important part about um, being respected in the league, quite honestly. And so that's something she's going to have to face. That's something I faced, still facing. I don't love defense. I'm going to admit that. Like, I'm an offensive player, and I know Caitlyn is too. So, I would just say, to her, like, try to love defense too. I know it's hard, but definitely just try to find ways to improve. Watch film on yourself. Always get in the gym. Be the first one in, last one out. Just always seeking help. I think that's what's really helped me out, and focusing on the little details too. Is if you're in a practice and coach says no one's setting good screens, well, you better make sure you are the one setting good screens next for the rest of practice. So like focusing on what the coaches want specifically for your role and perfecting that to a T is going to be really important for her.
Tell me if you think there's any credence to this or not, because one little I don't know, detraction or argument I heard about her adjusting to the league is that she's got so much attention around her that she's going to come in and be, like it or not, the face of that franchise right away.
Mhm.
And here at Iowa, they've been able to build a roster of people that like are okay playing second fiddle to Caitlyn. People that
Yeah.
are okay playing like a role playing role on that team. Whereas in the WNBA, she's going to join a team with Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston and maybe
Yeah.
players that haven't been used to that type of role. Is that going to be hard? Like, will there be any, I don't know, like locker room difficulty among that? Maybe some resentment for her being the star of the team right away without even having done anything in the league yet.
Well, knowing with my specific interactions with Indiana, I don't think there will be that many problems. Obviously with the Leah Boston coming in and as a rookie being able to be a really big centerpiece of their team, it shows the unselfishness of Indiana. And I've seen that all across the board in different teams. Obviously, I've had a lot of experiences, so that it's not always been that way. Um, but yeah, I think specifically her team, that whatever she goes to, not saying she's going to Indiana, but most likely I'm thinking that's the case. Um, but I think they're going to embrace her. They're super excited. Yes, she will have a target on her back, but they're very excited about her game and what she brings. So maybe there's going to be some issues. I don't know. I obviously can't predict that. Nobody really can, but I think there's going to be a lot more welcoming than resenting for sure.
Sure. Um, is this ever, when you again pictured your professional career or what you were going to be doing as an adult, is this what you envision for yourself that basketball is going to take you all over the world like this to whatever 4 different continents at this point and all this? I mean, even though a lot of people would love to be just playing in America in the WNBA, boy, you've gotten a chance to see a lot of the world and do some pretty cool stuff.
I mean, it's incredible. I'm just coming from Fort Wayne, Wisconsin, less than 200 people to playing all over the world at the highest level. Definitely could not have even imagined. Obviously, I wanted to play basketball and I wanted to play at the highest level possible that I could get to, but did I think it would be here? No, no. Just grateful for the opportunity. I love to travel and experience different cultures and new things. I've always been that way ever since leaving my small town. I wanted to just experience everything. So yeah, I'm just happy. I love it.
How big of a part of that is the fact that I know that Pancake is obviously always kind of seen as your like little sidekick and it's cute and it's fun and
Yeah.
stuff, but seriously, how important is she to your life? Because I mean, with all your travel, I have to imagine that it gets lonely or there's maybe not
Mhm.
somebody there for you all the time. That how big is it to have her along there with you?
Oh my gosh, it means everything to me. Obviously not being able to see my family. My sister just had a baby last August and I'm not around. I was actually injured for a couple months and I had a PRP shot in my foot. So I actually was home for about a month last September, October. Um, get all timelines get confused now,
I
but
understand.
just having her with me wherever I go is so important. She's my child. She is literally my child. And whenever I have a bad day with basketball, if I'm not feeling like I did well, my worries instantly go away. So she's definitely therapeutic in that aspect.
Yeah, that's awesome. Um, I think that I've exhausted about all of my questions. Anything else you want to say, Megan, before we kind of wrap up?
I don't think so, but thank you so much for your time. I see that you're at Carver right now.
I was gonna
Love
say,
to
I don't know
see
if
it.
you could tell which room
Oh,
I'm in,
I
even. I
do.
bet, yeah.
You're upstairs. Is it the Feller Club room, right?
Feller Club room. Yep, yep,
Yep.
you got it. Yep. So anyway,
Love
I've
it.
got a few other things with Caitlyn to do here before I take off. But yeah, thanks
Awesome.
again. God bless
Yeah,
you.
of
Thank you so much
course.
for this time today. It's been awesome to talk to you. So I may reach out again down the road for
Yeah.
some story and other, but it'd be great to see you sometime in America too to just do a story at some point. Hang
Sounds
on.
good. I'll let you
I
know.
I've already got it. Fever versus Aces. Come on. Next year, we got to be there.
Well, I had this theory. I was thinking as soon as I saw the news, we could do a Carver preseason matchup, Aces versus Fever. I think that would be so much fun.
Oh man, there
Or at
at
some point
I was
in
gonna
the
say,
season.
if not Carver, Wells Fargo Arena in Des Moines or something. Oh, that'd be
Love
incredible.
it. Love
All
it.
right, sounds good. Thanks so much,
All right.
Megan.
Of course. Have a
All
good
right.
day.